Welcome to HMIS 101. Today we are going to cover the HMIS basics. We will answer what is the HMIS, connect the San Diego COC to the HMIS, learn about service point basics, and discover next steps. A Homeless Management Information System, or HMIS, is a locally administered database system used to record and analyze client, service, and housing data for those who are homeless and are at risk of homelessness. The HMIS is mandated by HUD to help us understand the scope of the homelessness problem. HHS and the VA work with HUD as the HMIS federal partners. Data from the HMIS helps us to measure outputs, outcomes, and impacts, determine what is working and what is not, and can be used to understand size, characteristics, and needs of the homeless population at project, system, local, state, and national levels. This regional, comprehensive system benefits clients, programs, agencies, communities, and the nation at large. The HMIS Data Standards Manual provides guidance on the data elements, programs and setup information, and local system administration of projects. The HMIS Data Dictionary defines the data elements and requirements for HMIS compliance. Periodically, HUD and the federal partners update the manual to reflect critical data standard changes and clarifications. Most recently, the standards were updated in October 2015. The most crucial part of the Data Standards Manual is the available question and answer choices, which create a baseline standard set of information that is used and shared amongst various programs. This information benefits everyone who touches the system, especially program staff and participants. The HMIS Data Standards Manual includes all questions to be asked of clients and available answer-response choices, like the employment status example shown here. Also in the manual are other pieces crucial to collecting information from clients, such as specific data collection instructions and the rationale behind why each individual data element is collected. Special considerations, such as what to do when a client transitions from being a youth to over the age of 18, are also provided. All of this information helps in creating one comprehensive client file that is shared as clients enter various programs and move through the system. This process shows how the questions you ask clients are developed, beginning with the federal partners. Points where questions and answers are developed are marked in yellow. First, the federal partners publish the Data Standards Manual, which determine the data elements and how the questions and answers are worded. HMIS administrators such as Bowman then create assessments according to the manual, and provides guidance to HMIS lead agencies like the Regional Task Force on the Homeless. The RTFH helps local agencies use the system through program setup and appropriate training. Program staff are then able to work with clients and conduct intakes and data collection. If programs have private funding requirements, the funder determines what questions and answers are to be asked. The local program determines custom questions, and then works with the RTFH to set up the system. Similarly, if federally funded projects have needs above and beyond what the data standards dictate, the program determines the additional questions, and works with the RTFH to set up the system. The Universal Data Elements, or UDEs, are questions that are required for all clients and set the bare minimum for data collection. The UDEs are elements that are considered fairly static data elements, in that they likely will not change throughout a client's involvement in the homelessness system. These questions should be asked of all clients upon program intake and cover basic client information such as demographics, homelessness history, and program entry. Because these questions are required for all programs regardless of funding source, they create a standard set of information that is shared by all clients in the system. This makes the entire data collection process easier for both staff and client. Program-specific data elements, or PSDEs, are those that are required depending on the reporting requirements set by the federal partners for their programs. Some PSDEs are required by more than one federal partner, and some are program-specific. The PSDEs are considered dynamic elements crucial to gaining a more in-depth understanding of a client's situation that are likely to change as a client moves through the system. The PSDEs should be asked upon intake, and then updated periodically to reflect changes and updates. HUD divides the nation into geographic regions that provide homeless services, called Continuums of Care or COCs. San Diego City and County are one known as COC 601. The COC is governed by the Regional Continuum of Care Council. As the overseeing body for the San Diego COC, the RCCC selected the RTFH to serve as the HMIS lead agency, and chose ServicePoint as the HMIS software of record for San Diego. Federally funded programs dedicated to serving homeless individuals and families are required to participate in the HMIS. Agencies that provide beds and services funded by other sources are encouraged to participate in the HMIS to support and strengthen local data collection, service, and planning functions within the COC's jurisdiction. The RTFH began in 1984 as the Mayor's Task Force on Homelessness for the City of San Diego, and has since expanded to serve the entire San Diego County region. This includes over 60 homeless service providers with over 300 individual projects and over 550 ServicePoint users who serve thousands of homeless persons. The RTFH is responsible for local HMIS administration and management, which includes privacy and security, project setup, training, technical support, and more. The RTFH is responsible for more tasks outside of its core duties as the HMIS lead agency. The RTFH is probably best known for conducting the annual point-in-time count for the San Diego County region. The RTFH also conducts the HIC, AHR, NOFA, CAPER, and other federally mandated reports. The RTFH is also directly involved in the creation of many custom reports and data analysis requests, all of which provide key insight into understanding who our homeless community is, the issues that contribute to homelessness, and in developing strategies toward ending homelessness. This is the ServicePoint homepage. ServicePoint is the HMIS for over 60% of homeless communities throughout the nation. Our HMIS is only as good as the data that goes into it. This depends on you as the users of the system. Try to consider the HMIS as a digital version of your paper client files. It is shared with other providers to create one collaborative file for each client that moves throughout various homeless programs within the system. This system allows for real-time data access, various reporting capabilities, and efficient client management and tracking. You will be trained in various aspects of ServicePoint, depending on what programs you work with. This shows how programs are set up in ServicePoint. Everything starts with the funding sources, which are shown in blue, and flows down to the local projects, shown in purple. Each blue funding source has various requirements that must be taken into consideration prior to setting up each purple project in ServicePoint. The setup for projects that are federally funded is guided by the HMIS data standards and requirements set forth by each federal partner. This includes the workflow and available questions and answers. The setup for other projects that are not federally funded are determined by the funding source, agency, or the program itself in collaboration with the RTFH. Access to ServicePoint is role-based, which means that users only have access to data and information that you need to based upon your roles and responsibilities. Most users are assigned the role of case manager 2 or 3, and have access only to client-level data. Supervisors who are agency administrator can access agency program and client-level data within their agency and have the ability to reset user passwords. Those who need less access are assigned read-only. RTFH staff have access to all data in the system at the system administrator level. Next, you'll be responsible for taking more training. Your required trainings will be assigned to you in the LMS, based upon your user role and program workflow. These trainings will teach you how to use ServicePoint,